Wayne, what is this night like for you? Obviously, I'm sure it brings back a lot of memories.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. You know, Mr. Bettman and I talk about this a lot. It's great for hockey. I'm so happy for the league. So proud of Alex. You know, when I broke Gordy's record, my dad told me that same night, you'd be as proud for the guy that breaks your record. And you know what? This is so good for hockey.
I knew this day would come. In an emotional moment that left fans speechless, Wayne Gretzky reveals the stunning prediction his father made 30 years ago as Ovechkin ties hockey's most untouchable record. Have you ever wondered how it feels when someone breaks your record? Most people might feel sad or even a little jealous, but not Wayne Gretzky. The man known as the Great One shocked everyone with his incredible reaction when Alex Ovechkin tied his seemingly unbreakable record of 894 NHL goals. Friday night at Capital One Arena in Washington, the hockey world stood still as 39-year-old Alex Ovechkin fired his signature one-timer into the Chicago Blackhawks net for his 894th career goal. The crowd erupted in chants of "Ovi, Ovi," but up in a luxury suite, something even more special was happening. Wayne Gretzky was on his feet, clapping and cheering as enthusiastically as any Capitals fan.
Wayne, what is this night like for you? Obviously, I'm sure it brings back a lot of memories.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. You know, Mr. Bettman and I talk about this a lot. It's great for hockey. I'm so happy for the league. So proud of Alex. You know, when I broke Gordy's record, my dad told me that same night, you'd be as proud for the guy that breaks your record. And you know what? This is so good for hockey.
For 25 years, Gretzky's record of 894 goals stood untouched. Many experts called it unbreakable, something no human could ever achieve again in the faster, more defensive modern NHL. But Gretzky himself never thought that way.
After the first period.
When did you first think, Wayne, that he might have a shot at your record? I know a lot of people have said goal 700 in 2020.
Yeah. About 880.
But then, getting serious, Gretzky explained what makes Ovechkin so special.
And I've said this before, there's three guys that played the game with finesse, physical, and smartness, and that was Gordie Howe, Mark Messier, and Ovechkin. Those three guys are in their own category, and good for Alex. Yeah.
What shocked many fans was how genuinely happy Gretzky seemed. There wasn't even a hint of sadness about losing his place in the record books. When asked if it felt bittersweet to see his record fall, Gretzky's answer was immediate. Not at all. Not one bit. In fact, Gretzky revealed he'd been expecting this day for years. 2 years ago, when people said to me, "Do you think Alex is going to break the record?" I said, "It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when." After the game, in a moment that brought tears to the eyes of many hockey fans, Gretzky visited the Capitals' locker room to congratulate Ovechkin in person. The two legends, one from Canada, one from Russia, sat together at a press conference, showing the world what sportsmanship truly means. "This is going to get more kids playing hockey," Gretzky said, beaming with pride. Perhaps the most powerful moment came when Gretzky explained why it was so important for him to be there in person. The integrity of the game. When I was breaking Gordie Howe's record, he was there. And I said 2 years ago that if Alex gets close to my record, I'll be here. Then Gretzky shared a beautiful message about the tradition of hockey's greatest players.
You guys might not believe me. If somebody breaks Alex's record, I hope Alex is there to shake his hand. But right now, I hope Alex enjoys it, and he deserves all the credit and accolades he's getting. But the game is my life, right? I'm a Canadian who played, lucky enough to play in the NHL.
Gretzky even revealed a personal connection to Ovechkin's achievement. What makes Ovechkin's achievement even more incredible is that he's still scoring at an elite pace at age 39. This season alone, he has 41 goals, tied for second in the entire NHL, despite missing a month with a broken leg. I don't care what era you play in, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, it's hard to score goals, Gretzky explained. Good for him. As the interview ended, Gretzky summed up his feelings with words that showed why he's considered not just hockey's greatest player, but also one of its greatest ambassadors. "The game is my life. I'm a Canadian who was lucky enough to play in the NHL. Everything I have in my life, from my family to my friends to my memories, is because of the National Hockey League." With 6 games left in the Capitals' regular regular season, Ovechkin needs just one more goal to claim the record all for himself. But thanks to Wayne Gretzky's incredible sportsmanship and heartfelt support, we've already witnessed something even more special than a broken record. We've seen the true spirit of hockey passed from one generation's greatest goal scorer to another. As Gretzky said with a smile, watching hockey's torch being passed, it's wonderful.
This one's going to come out. It's going to go all the way back. Is it going to go in?
That's it!
It's in. It is!
Another tough year for Buffalo Sabres.
I'm almost lost for words. This is the toughest solve I've been around, but it is on me to get these guys in the right place and win a hockey.
Hockey history made. Have you ever seen a player get punished and rewarded at the exact same time? It just happened in the NHL. Just when you think you've seen everything in hockey, something completely wild happens that leaves even the announcer speechless. Last night's game between the Buffalo Sabres and Utah Hockey Club gave us one of the strangest moments in NHL history. A player took a penalty and ended up scoring a goal on the same play. That's right, kids. Imagine getting sent to timeout, but somehow getting ice cream too. That's basically what happened to Utah's Stenlund in last night's game. Here's how this crazy situation unfolded. With less than 2 minutes left in the game, Buffalo was down 3-2 and fighting hard to tie things up. They had already pulled their goalie, which means they took their goaltender out of the net to get an extra skater on the ice. It's a risky move teams make when they're desperate to score. Then something amazing happened. Utah's Stenlund got called for a high-sticking penalty. This was huge for Buffalo. Not only would they have an extra attacker from pulling their goalie, but now they'd have a power play too, giving them 6 players against just 4 Utah players on the ice. All they had to do was put the puck on net, the announcer explained. This 6-on-5 turns into a 6-on-4, and who knows what could happen. This was Buffalo's golden opportunity to tie the game and maybe even win it. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, but then disaster struck. Instead of taking advantage of this perfect situation, a Buffalo player made a terrible pass that went nowhere near his teammates. The puck slid all the way down the ice and, you guessed it, went right into Buffalo's empty net. Goal for Utah. But wait, who gets credit for the goal? In hockey, the last player from the scoring team to touch the puck gets credit for the goal when it goes into an empty net. And guess who was the last Utah player to touch it? Stenlund, the very same player who just took the penalty. How often do you see the guy that took the penalty end up being credited with a goal in the same sequence? The announcer shouted in disbelief. You just can't even make it up. Can you believe it? 1 second, Stenlund is headed to the penalty box for breaking the rules, and the next second, he's being announced as the goal scorer. It's like getting detention at school, but still winning the classroom prize on your way out the door. This bizarre goal turned a tight 3-2 game into a 4-2 advantage for Utah. Shortly after, Utah scored again to make it 5-2, ending any hope for the struggling Sabres. For Buffalo fans, this was just another heartbreaking moment in what the announcer called a pathetic nightmare of a season. The team has been having a really tough year, even suffering through a 13-game losing streak from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas. What makes it even more painful for Sabres fans is that they've seen some of their former players, like Dylan Cousins, who was traded to the Ottawa Senators, immediately start playing much better after leaving Buffalo. Cousins has already scored 6 points in his first 7 games with his new team. Hockey experts say they've almost never seen anything like this penalty goal combination before. Even veteran announcer Ray Ferraro was completely fired up about how unusual and unfortunate this moment was. When Ray gets this fired up about it, it's bad.